Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. This movie is directed by Kevin Smith, who previously did Clerks, Chasing Amy, and Mallrats. This movie stars Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith. The plot of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is the characters of Jay and Silent Bob have discovered that a movie reboot is being made of a movie that was made based on their characters. And they disagree with it, so they decide to go to Hollywood to stop this reboot from being made. Now, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is essentially a remake, rehash, reboot of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back from 2001. And this movie has a lot of the same beats and story elements as that film. Jay and Silent Bob discover something, they don't like the way things are being handled, they disagree with it, they decide to travel to Hollywood, they go on a road trip, they meet these characters, they run into Shannon Elizabeth, etc., etc. It's very similar to the previous film, but that's the point. If you're a fan of Kevin Smith, you'll love this movie. If you don't understand his humor, his jokes about drugs or dicks, then you may not like this. However, if you like cameos, if you like Kevin Smith's style of directing, filmmaking, and jokes about everything comic book related, then this movie will be right up your alley. Kevin Smith uses a lot of the same actors, if not, he uses an actor from every single one of his films in this movie. And it's great because the actors that portray those characters, they make fun of Kevin Smith, they make fun of the characters they portray, but they also make fun of themselves as the actors in our time. So, Kevin Smith is like making fun of himself throughout the whole movie. And in the third act, I'll just say Kevin Smith plays Kevin Smith. Some of the cameos in this film are very surprising. Some you know because Kevin Smith has worked with certain actors or actresses that they'll pop up in this movie. But some jokes and some cameos were very surprising. I'm really glad to see, like Tarantino, Kevin Smith has become one of these indie filmmakers that has just blown up, whose name is now known all over the world. And the only gripes I'd say to have with this movie is that there's a story arc that's kind of shoved in there about parenting and dealing with having a child, where a character learns they have a kid. And yeah, there's some emotional aspect to it, and it does create some drama, but this subplot reminded me a lot of in the movie Ted 2, where Ted goes on trial. It's like, this is a comedy. Why do you need this type of storyline in this movie? But they put it in there to move the story along, to give it some narrative. Also, Jason Mewes as Jay has not aged very well. And so that kind of took me out of the movie a bit because he looks so much older than he did in the previous film. But since this is almost 20 years later, Jason Mewes, Kevin Smith, and a bunch of the actors portraying certain characters have also aged. So, in summary, if you're a huge Kevin Smith fan and you followed his work from the beginning, you're going to love this movie. You're going to laugh your butt off. If you're not a fan of his work, you're going to think the movie is shallow, the jokes are dumb, and you're not going to get into it. So, because I'd give it one grade for the fans and another grade for the non-fans, I'm going to meet somewhere in the middle, and I'm going to give Jay and Silent Bob Reboot a B. You know, it's funny because for a while now, I've had this idea of a director making a movie and then every year or two remaking the same movie with either the same or different actors just to see how different each movie would be. But I guess Kevin Smith beat me to it. So until next time, guys, see ya.